I know I speak to a lot of my friends and fam. They be trying to figure out like, yo, George, how do I, work remote? How do I travel? How do I do all these different things? And this is something that's new to me myself. Like starting 2025, I really made a decision to like pivot into travel. Although I spent like majority of the first half of the year outside, well, other than Panama, but the rest of the year I was pretty much I was in the States, right? I'm still am in the States up until August, but I had to get a lot of things in order. But what I was studying was how people were able to live this life. Like, yo, how are they outside, in a whole nother country, all the way from their actual bank accounts and, their insurances and all that stuff. And they thriving, right? They're not just living, they thriving. They living a really good life. So I try to, understand that, look at that, and I've come to learn a lot of things, which I'm gonna definitely be trying to share on this stream. But we're gonna check out some cool content too that I got lined up. But other than that, man, I wish I could tell what's the delay for real on the. To learn a lot of things. Yeah, I feel like there might be a certain delay on this joint. I can't really tell, but. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure this out as we go though. But yeah, nonetheless, guys, quick small talk and life update, man. Yeah, I already know I'm right now in Brooklyn. I'm in New York. It's honestly gonna be a great summer. If anybody in New York right now, this is probably gonna be a legendary summer. I don't know, it's like a good vibe right now in the city. With that being said, bet. Appreciate that, So yeah, so with that being said, the way it works is really what's gonna happen is this summer I feel like a lot of people are gonna enjoy themselves, and just like always right after the summer people just gonna lock in, right? But what I've come to realize is like, yo, we gotta lock in all year. Real talk, like all year gotta be a lock in. But of course you find time to enjoy yourself, but you really gotta understand that life continues to move, and you can't take breaks on your dreams, you can't take breaks on your goals. They gotta be like consistent effort. So with that being said, right, for me personally, I pivoted into like my actual dreams. I went away from corporate America. For those who don't know, I was actually working at a company called ZocDoc. Pretty cool, honestly, pretty great company. I'm not gonna lie, like my job was super easy. My manager was like the coolest dude. He ain't care about nothing. So I ain't gonna lie, it was a great job, but once you're in a position where you feel like you could sustain yourself outside of work, I think only fear will keep you there. So I pivoted out of that job, pivoted out of corporate. Of course, definitely, I've made that decision before in my life, and I'll speak on that either later on the stream or at another stream. But I made that decision before in my life, walking away from a job, and it wasn't the most opportune time to do so, right? And it kind of messed me up for a little bit, especially when a lot of my businesses didn't work out. So now this time around, I had to really understand, like, what does it take to sustain yourself without a 9 to 5? What do you have to have in place, or what things have to be in motion for you to eventually say, yo, I could walk away? So like for me, I have a lot of things in motion that I know in 2 to 3 months time, I'm gonna be straight. But up until then, I still have, avenues of income, whether it's bookkeeping and things that keep me afloat. So for anybody out there thinking the same thing, like, yo, should I leave my job? I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, I just dropped a reel today. Don't quit your day job, right? You should only quit your day job once you already have the plan in place and it's already in motion, and you have other means of getting income to actually facilitate your dreams. So before we get into the travel talk, like that's the first thing I want to chop it up with y'all on the stream, because I know a lot of people be asking me that all the time. It's like, yo, George, like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And they hate to hear it, but I tell them, like, yo, get a job and save your bread. But the second part, people mess up on. People get the job. Yeah, I swear to God, this happens all the time, y'all. They get the job, right? And then the next thing that they do is they start cashing out, right? You start cashing out. You start buying stuff, kicks, all this, fly good. All right, cool. That's you. Me, I'm always investing my money back into my dreams, right? And being an entrepreneur is very difficult, guys. So you need capital. So I say that to say, right, and I could do a whole stream on that and the areas about that. And if y'all got any questions on how to do that, just ask me in the chat. But what I want to dive into now really is kind of like, yo, what I consider to be the new American dream, right? This new American dream is something that I thought about because I had to contemplate my life and how my family has matriculated through America, right? I'm not generations of American. Majority of the people that I know are not generations of American people. Like, we don't take the time to sit back and really think about this stuff, right? My grandparents came here in, if I'm not mistaken, the late 70s. I really want to say the early 80s, but yeah, but I think my like 79, 81, between that time, right? So that right there, once again, is like was a game changer for how I viewed my ties to the country. When I was born here and we're going to school here, we don't think about it. We're like, oh, we're American. Like, yeah, but not really. I'm Panamanian, right? Or in reality, I'm just human. I really could be anywhere on the planet. But if I, track my lineage and stuff, of course, it's going to go to the country of Panama. My mother and father was not even born here. So all of these things I start to think about, and I'm like, damn, what makes me feel like I have to stay here? You get what I'm saying? It's like, I had to pivot my mind and say, it's like, yo, why do I feel like I owe the country my presence? Like, why do I feel like I owe America like I need to be here, basically? It's like, if you get what I'm saying, it's like, so that's something that started going through my head. And it wasn't until I started watching a lot of content on YouTube about people living abroad, right? If anybody ever went through the rabbit hole of like living in Thailand, living in Bali, life in Brazil, and and then you got the passport bros, but they're weird, like outside of their content, but actual people, like, even people moving their families, like, yo, I took my 2 kids and we moved to Bangkok, or I took my 2 kids and we're living in Ghana. I'm like, yo, hold on, like, why would someone do this? Now, the thing for me that changed it, and I'll show you guys real quick too, right? The thing for me that changed is because I had experience living elsewhere before, but I was always a kid, right? I used to live in Panama all the time. So real quick story time, right? Growing up, right, when we're in summer vacation, like our summer vacation, Panama's kids are in school. Our winter vacation is their summer. So like Carnival in Panama falls pretty much, it depends, right? It will be end of February to, let's say, maybe the first week of March. So their summer vacation is December, January, February, and a little bit of March, right? So summertime, they would send me to Panama. Swear to God, as soon as summer was over, school was over, they would send me to Panama, and I would not come back home until like after 2 weeks of school started. I would come back in like September. I used to be in Panama for months, right? Yo, it's so crazy. Like, and let me I could actually show y'all real quick. 1 second, let's pull this up real quick, man. Let's pull this up because I could show y'all exactly where I used to live. And that's another thing. Google Maps is wild. Let's pull this up, right? Hold on. Let's see if I can switch the content real quick. Oh yeah, here we go. There we go. All right, bet. Let's see. Not Laco Sensio. Alright, you know what? I know what we could do. Yeah, there we go. Alright. 1 second, y'all. Let me I'll show you exactly where I used to be at in Panama real quick. Let's see, where the cemetery at? Alright, this is cemetery. Nah, not that one. So yeah, like I was saying, right, as I bring this up for y'all, right? So the crazy thing is, in fact, here we go. So this right here, right? This is the cemetery that we buried my great grandma at back in August, right? So the crazy thing is they used to send me here, y'all. They used to send me here all summer, bro. Now this area burned down. This is crazy, right? It used to be like small shops right here. Yo, y'all gonna get some good gems on this stream real quick, man. There used to be an internet and gaming cafe right here. So in Panama back then, Like, it was rare that your crib even had Wi-Fi. Now it's a little different. Like, the cribs have Wi-Fi, AC. But back then, when I was staying there, like, when I was growing up out there, they was, like, the only way you was getting internet or playing online, you had to go to internet cafe. They was charging you, like, $1 or, like, I forgot what it was. I think it was, like, $1 for 30 minutes or something like that. It was making our money. But it was lit here because all of the games, like, the overseas, like, anime was way ahead in Panama compared to the States. So, like, I don't know if y'all ever play, like, Naruto games, but back then, like, they was on 4 when we was in the States. We was on 3. So we used to come here and play games way before dudes in the States was playing them. And we used to be here all day, right? So I'll show you right now. So this is basically, like, this is what you call Concepcion. This is, like, the hood I grew up in, right? Well, when I stayed in Panama. You know, everybody knows I grew up in Canarsie, but when I stayed in Panama, this is where I was at. So let me show y'all real quick, man. Hold on. How do I? Yeah. Let's make this easier. Bet right here. So this is my own house right here. And this is the crib. This is the crib that I was staying in. It used to be mad of us in this crib. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. There's so many of us in this house right here, bro. Like, this car was actually from the States back, you know, my grandfather had that car. But this is where my great-grandma house is and, like, where I used to stay at. For me, crazy enough, my grandmother grew up here and my grandfather grew up here. They grew up across the street from each other, bro. Wild, right? But, yeah, nonetheless, bro, right? So, the crazy thing is now I used to spend the whole summer out there. At some point, because my cousins was in school while I was in summer vacation, my aunt would just come to me and be like, yo, you going to school with them, like, and she'll walk me to the school and I just start, you know, being in the school, whatever, right? So crazy thing is that kind of exposed me first to, like, life somewhere else, and it was so different back then because I didn't have any responsibilities. So I didn't really understand or get the fact that I was living in a whole nother, like, location, right? I really didn't grasp it. Now that I'm older, I start to realize, like, man, I mean, I lived in Panama when I was younger, and I know people that's living there. Why, you know, what's stopping me from doing that now? So basically, guys, is like traveling. The reason I even, like, did that side story, right, is because I feel like mentally my mind was already 1 foot out the door from living in America because I experienced it at a young age. And I noticed also how that affected me when I came back to the States. And a lot of my friends who were stuck here or stuck with one specific, like, understanding of the world, didn't really travel, didn't really leave the country or live somewhere else, eat different food. I noticed how that kind of affected kind of just how we grew up. Like, I had always had, like, a global mindset to a lot of stuff, word. And so now that we're, you know, dudes is older, I feel like me making these decisions, I guess I have less fear in a sense. But that fear didn't fully go away until this past Christmas when I was living in Panama. So, yo, let me tell y'all, right? Living in Panama is crazy. Because they use the US dollar, so you don't gotta, like, change your money, your currency, or anything like that. They use the US dollar. But if you know where to go, it's a lot cheaper, right? It's a lot cheaper. Yo, this YouTuber who made, let me see if I can find him. He made, and I don't know if you ever watched, you know, travel YouTubers, but this one guy named Lord Williamson, right? He had made a video, here we go, 4 days ago, right, about being.
There's one country in Central America that if you don't come prepared, you'll be left shocked and your pockets empty.
Bienvenidos a Panama.
Welcome to Panama City, Panama. In this video, I'm giving you my raw first impressions of this vibrant city, and we're not just hitting tourist spots either. We're diving into a real local experience, going places.
Super cheap flight.
So, like, this is Panama for y'all, for everybody who don't know. Panama is the last country connecting Central America to South America, right? This is the canal right here. Okay? So you either going to end up 100% in 2 parts of Panama. You either going to be in Colón, which is more of, like, where all the New Yorkers who, you know, Panama, most Panamanians in New York, bro, they're from Colón. All their families left Panama, left this area, and they moved out here. And then you're from the city.
Disclaimer: make sure, especially if you're flying Avianca, make sure you just stretch it a little bit further. That's why you'll see a lot of people in Thailand. You'll see a lot of people in Colombia. You want to do where order food how you want to order it. But here, it's a little bit different, man. It is a little different because they do use the U.S. dollar. Right now, we are going to Mercado Marisco, and I need some directions real quick. Hola, hermano. Favorite dishes?
Yo, so funny thing right here. This strip that he's at right now at nighttime, he should not be right here on this app right here. I kid you not. Like at nighttime, and he's in the city, mind you. This is like the real. All right, so imagine New York City, and like he's close to like, he's not too far from, let's say, like Lower East Side or like Manhattan, I guess. Not deep Manhattan, but like Lower East Side, basically.
It's a Peruvian dish. I had that and a water. One dish and a water. Out of here.
So
question, how much for that? Panama. Hola, hermano. ¿Qué es eso? It's otro restaurante allá.
So like, yeah, this area right here by the fish market, this is still like tourist area. So you're gonna hear him.
Es gratis para gringos.
You gonna hear him talking about like, yo, the prices, and it's like, yo, he's still kind of in the touristy area.
Want to be free, so we get free.
Nah, it's all good. Gracias por todo. Es gratis para gringos.
¿Por qué?
Sí, ¿por qué? Tú eres famoso y yo también.
Sí.
Sí, obvio.
Oiga.
She want me. She want me. She want me.
We got shrimp and fish, $20. If you look, the shrimp's $18, the fish is $20.
So you feel me? Like this, I ain't gonna lie. I've probably been here like one time. Cause if you ever come to Panama with me, I'm gonna take you around the way. Like I'm not. Now let me just say, you don't necessarily have to go to the hood to be around the way. Like I could take you to a good part of Panama, but it's still local. You get what I'm saying? So with that experience, I could see, like, if you was going to Panama right now and you was on some tourist suggestions, you're going to spend a lot of money. I promise you that. Your lunches are going to be 16 cash. Your dinners are going to be $30. Like, you're going to be spending money, 100%. Because Panama is not broke. I don't know what people be thinking that. Like, people think because Panama to me is like the Dubai of Central America. Like, and no, like, legit. Like, hold on, let me see. Like, people have to understand this is what's going on in Panama right now. Like, man-made islands, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, man-made islands. Second artificial island to be built off Panama. Like, they're making, like, this is like, people have to understand this is not a poor country at all. Each of these cribs is starting at $2 million, $5 million. Like, our city, we have one of the craziest skylines, once again, in Central and South America. Like, people think it's like Miami when they pull up. They think it's Miami. This is Panama, y'all. Like this, for those who don't know, this is Panama. Right? This is Panama. So, like I said, right, if you don't know any better, you're gonna, usually end up in the tourist areas and you're gonna be spending a lot.
Hey, on top of that, put some free beer.
But what's going on, man?
The food is good, y'all.
Tell us where we at right now, man.
We're in the Cano Fish here in Panama City, Panama. Mercado Marisco. When y'all want some good fish and shrimp, want some lobster, come down and visit me. My name is Fred.
Okay, Fred, and what I've noticed real quick, $8 depending on how far I'm going.
So here's one thing I would say, right?
A lot of the Airbnbs do not allow guests. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. B&Bs in Panama also expensive, right? Especially if you in here. So this is called Casco Viejo, right? Casco Viejo is kind of like the main attraction for anybody that visits Panama. It's like, volume on video, loud in your mic. All right, cool. I don't know exactly how to fix that, but we're gonna I'll probably try not talking when the video no, but yeah, so like Casco Viejo is kind of like old Panama time, but it's renovated. Like it still has a lot of the old aesthetic, but most of all attractions and clubs is in this area.
Oh my God.
It's not a bad B&B, chat. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a bad B&B right here. Alright, so right here where he's at, this is not my neck of the woods. Like, I'm from the hood, but these are like projects. And it's not to say one is worse than the other, because this specific area, I think he's in a Chorrillo right now. I'm saying it is bad, but it's like, there's worse parts of Panama, 100%. So I can promise you that.
One of my homies from, that nigga stay super up there.
So he gonna pull up through this project right here.
They don't pay no rent, you know what I'm saying?
It's all government or what?
Nah, just all like, paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when somebody move in, others move in. When somebody move out, somebody else move in.
Yeah, it's like, you pass it on to your family.
Gotcha.
You decide to sell it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to, like, you got the apartment here, you want to buy it, I sell it to you for $1,000. You buy it for $1,000, it's yours.
Gotcha. No paperwork needed.
No paperwork, no nothing.
Alright, so I need y'all to understand what they just said about this apartment complex, right? And it's crazy because I was watching some Brazil videos of even saying, wow. Basically, once you get an apartment in this building, it's your apartment, no paperwork. People who families grow up there, they passing it down. Family member to the next family member, passing it down, bro. Just on some like, yo, it's yours now. Right? It's like there's no contracts, no leases in this specific building. Clearly, actually, if you're doing actual real estate and stuff like that in Panama, buying land, there's actual paperwork. But in this specific building that this guy's explaining, it really is like that, because these apartments are kind of like gifts from the government. So like they was provided for low income housing and people live there. But the game is like, yo, if my family got it, I'm trying to dip. I could sell this joint to somebody for $1,000. I guess under the table, whatever, unofficially, and it is what it is. Like, there's no way for you to really know who lives there. So what's wild is I was watching this video about Brazil and the favelas, and yo, why he said like the mailman, like nobody house has a number on it. It's like the mail guy gotta know who house that is. Like the mailman from the neighborhood, so he know who crib it is. Like he know this lady live over here, and it's like crazy stuff. So it's just interesting, like how certain parts of certain countries, man, is like way behind the rest of the country.
He said, man, no rent, everything's paid off, and if they sell it to you, then it's yours. Okay, our pocket.
So this right here is one of Panama's biggest issues, right? It's trash. And it's not just because it's the project, y'all. Trust me, I know what somebody thinking. Nah, it's really the whole Panama. And, like, the current mayor's trying to fix this situation, but, like, motherfuckers we throwing trash everywhere, yo. Like,
nah, DJ out pocket. Crazy bit like that.
This camera he using same
camera. What y'all think the biggest difference between life here is and life in the States?
So I want you up, bro. This is what I be talking about with, like, look at this condition in this building and then look at the skyline. Like, it's two different worlds. And I could go deeper into this topic, y'all, but I want to keep the stream going and keep talking, get into other conversations. But, like, always remember that, man. It's like two different worlds in any country that you go to, any state that you in. And yeah, they'll promote the good side and they'll never show you the rest. So
you don't got a lot of like people or just shit, like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just different out here.
From what I've seen, man, I think the quality of life is different in places.
There's some specific
here, restaurants here. I'm be here for
here's
like
the last
myself.
thing I wanted to show y'all. So this is part of Casco Viejo, right?
In Medellin, there are some
each day. That being said, during the week, the nightlife was basically non-existent. Now, you do have places like Selena Hostel that throws random parties here and there, but overall, it's pretty quiet Monday through Thursday. Comment saying, well,
so,
of course.
This is in Casco Viejo, right, where he's at right now. Let me show y'all this right here, right?
Days of no drinking, and I bought a water in the club, and it cost me $3.50.
Listen to what he's saying. I'm going to run that back.
I'm 24 days of no drinking, and I bought a water in the club, and it cost me $3.50. Honestly, I just should have took a shot. So from what I've seen, to sum up my first impressions, the people are cool. The women are very approachable. The food is amazing, but Panama City is expensive compared to any other country. And of course, this is just my opinion, but instead of speaking on places you've never been, I suggest you going to visit there so you can form your own opinion. And before you guys come in the comments saying, well, of course it's expensive. You were in the tourist area. I know that. I'm comparing the tourist areas between other countries and cities that I visit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got Casa Santana right here. This is a very popular club.
Here's another thing I would say too about that. Like, there's tourist areas and then there's top tourist areas. Like, for example, like somebody come to New York, to me personally, like, there's certain parts of Brooklyn that's considered a tourist area. Like, in my opinion, like Dumbo, like that area, right, right by the bridge, Domino Park, like that's, if somebody was in Brooklyn, they wanted to go somewhere touristy, I would send them over there. Like, I would send them to downtown Brooklyn. I would send them by the bridge, right? They got the park, right? Like, I would send them over there. That's touristy. But Times Square is a different type of expensive. So it's like, I get what he's saying, but it's like, yo, you're not just in the tourist area, you're in the tourist area, like. And now, here's another crazy thing, right? Nightlife in Panama, like this place where he's at right now, it's like, let's just say this is where the night walkers hang around, right? People doing something strange for a little bit of change type of thing going on over here. But
then you got
you
just
already
multiple
know.
clubs
Once
all
you
down
in
the
that
street.
area,
But if you want to go to the
like
cracker
$3
area,
for
you just
water.
put in Casa Santana, and it'll bring you right
So-
here to Casco Viejo.
But yeah, nonetheless, right? For me personally, right, chat, is like, for me personally, Panama is one of those places where if you were thinking about moving and living life abroad, I would not recommend it. I'm just being honest. Unless two things. Unless you already spoke Spanish, or two, you were making, I would say in Panama, bro, like $5,000 a month. You could live for way less. You could trust me. But if you got $5,000 a month in Panama, you got a really good life, because you could get a fly, crazy apartment, man. Like Miami penthouse type vibes for like $2,500 a month. And that's what's possible, right? Let's actually see real quick. Actually, I think I got some bookmark for y'all real quick from a while back. Oh yeah, I do. Like, for example, look at this, y'all. Look at this, chat. Look at this. $2,200 a month, right? Look at this apartment. $2,200 a month. Come on, chat. Chat, like, would you pay $2,200 a month to live here? How much do you think this will cost in Miami or in New York? Like, you guys let me know. This is $2,200 in Panama. Mind you, notice the stairs. There's definitely a second floor. This is a two floor apartment. It's crazy. So that's one of many. Hold on, I think I got some more bookmark here. Yeah, I got a bunch of them. This is $1,600. 1,600, chat. Like yo, 1,600, chat. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm giving y'all these examples because this is my home country, and I plan to live. But in Panama, I'm not doing an apartment because I'm from there. I have to build my own house, get land. Like, I'm doing something. I'm not doing that. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. So back to the topic at hand. It's like, if you're gonna live abroad, you just have to do your research and ask people, right? If somebody was moving to Central South America and they don't know Spanish, it's like, yo, I'm gonna tell them first things like, yo, learn Spanish. Learn Spanish. It's like what Denzel said in Training Day. Learn that shit. Learn that shit. It'll save your life. You know what I'm saying? So word. So it's like, but now, right? Let's once again expand our horizons, right? Let's think further than just Panama. Let's go beyond Panama, chat, right? Let's go beyond this side of the planet. You gotta think about, we live on a giant planet. a giant planet, bro. There's places all around that you could be living at. So with that being said, it's like, okay, let's focus on what most people get attracted to, which is Southeast Asia. Now look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I can live in Southeast Asia for a certain amount of months. I cannot move there. Like officially, like yo, I live here now 1 year, 2 years. I can't do it. And it's just like a culture difference. Like Chad, it's just really a culture difference. Right? It's a difference because for me personally, I don't know. It's just like I want to be around my people, my type of culture for at least to some degree, right? If I'm in Panama, I know although it's Spanish, Hispanic culture, like I'm used to that. That's my family, right? If I'm, in Africa, it's black or it's black culture. Well, it's not Western black culture, but it's still, you around black people. So that changes where you want to go. Some people want to move to Japan. Like, look. Japan is cool. Once again, don't get me wrong. I could do a year, maybe 2. Nah, I could do 6 months max a year max. But even then, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think I could be there that long. I say like 6 months max, right? But the thing with places like that is because now you all got to learn a whole new language. So to me, I started thinking about, okay, if I know Panama's my long term, where else could I go? You get me? Like, where else could I basically pull up to? And it's not a major culture shock. And that's when I started looking into Africa. So like Ghana was super expensive. Just from what I was seeing, like it was super expensive. And, Nigeria is just shaky. I ain't gonna lie. No offense to Nigerians, but it's a shaky location, right? And it's a lot of people there. So Kenya, the reason Kenya was big for me, it was because Kenya basically, guys, is like they consider it the Silicon Valley of Africa. Like it's a major tech hub. So we talking like AI companies, a lot of VCs is out there. And if y'all don't know, my co-founder to my app called Pocketwatch is Kenyan. He lives out there. So I was already kind of tapped into the area with the talent there. And then I'm just like, yo, you know what? I'm going to pull up. So for those who don't know, if anybody is on this stream and doesn't know yet, I actually leave to Kenya August 19th. I actually head out there and I'm going to be there for a few months. 3 the minimum I'm going to be out there, but I could be out there longer, John. Just to be honest with y'all. It all depends, right? It all depends. So yeah, chat. So I'm bringing that up, right? Because now I really want this stream to be about y'all to a certain degree, not just about me. I really want you to understand it's like, okay, what is stopping you from feeling like you can't go somewhere else? And it's also, here's another thing, right? It's also about, you don't have to stay there forever. You don't. Chat, look. Let's say you live somewhere for 3 months. Guys, you have to understand how fast 3 months goes by. I just spent 2 months in Panama, December and January, right? And how fast that goes. 3 months is nothing. But if you spend it somewhere else in the world, that's life-changing. You could do 3 months in Colombia, come back, chill for a little bit, stack your money. All right, you could do 3 months in Japan, come back. Like, you could do 3 to 4 to 6 months in a bunch of places. Because we young. Like, honestly, this is not a message for those who already have families and already like kind of settled down and in their kind of in their ways, mortgage and all that. This is not really a message for y'all, just be honest, right? This is a message for those out there or on the stream that's like, yo, you know what? I'm still interested in traveling. I'm still able to uproot myself from one location and go elsewhere. So, and man, and it's like it all starts with first just, okay, do your research. Where's everybody going? Where's modernized enough? All right, people going to Bali, people going to Thailand, people going to, Panama. Even if you got the money, go to Panama, right? Or Colombia. Colombia is like big, guys. Colombia is big because the money goes far. Thailand and Colombia, guys, the money goes far. Like trust me when I tell you, I've been to Colombia, guys. It's crazy, right? You're even in the tourist area, and that's kind of what Lord was saying in the video. It's like even in the tourist areas, like your money goes a long way in Colombia, in Medellin, right? So yeah. So with that being said, it's like a lot of us need to start looking at life that way, right? I put, and let me go back to, let's see something real quick, right? So the thing about Colombia too, or any of these places, guys, that you could do is like, the first thing is like, you need a remote job. That's what I wanted to get into next, right? You need a remote job. And what does it mean to have a remote job? Guys, if you are still looking for job opportunities where you have to show up in person, that's a problem, right? And it's not necessarily a problem if that's your current situation. No, that's perfectly fine. Make your money how you need to make it right now. It's a problem if you're kind of at this job and not actively trying to find a remote gig while you're working. That's the best time to look for a job is when you work at a job. Big surprise, bro. The best time to look for a job is when you work at a job. Because there's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. You're not thinking about, yo, I need this, I gotta know. You are able to calm down, fix your resume at your own pace, apply to jobs at your own pace, right? But you're actively working to get a remote gig. Now, hold on, because it's freezing it. Right? So like, with that being said, right, y'all? It's like, once you have a remote gig, and I'm talking really remote, I'm not talking remote where they on some, yeah, you can only work from the United States from your crib. It's like, no, I'm talking about real remote. Real remote is, it don't matter where in the world I'm at, this job paid me. Like, as long as I handle my work, I get on the meetings, whatever, I'm getting paid. So my old job, it was a hybrid situation, but it was really fully remote because, no, if I wanted to, I could just not go to office, but I couldn't just leave the country. So they limited me to, I think it was 4 weeks. Yeah, it was 4 weeks, and I extended it crazy. I pushed the barrier because I did 6 weeks in Panama, but it was 4 weeks max that you could basically work outside of the country. And it's cool, that's a good perk, but no, like, guys, I promise you, if their policy wasn't that I had to come back to the States, I probably would have never came back. Like, I could almost guarantee you that, yeah, I would have probably never came back, right? But I had to come back, I had to work, I had to stack up some more money, and it's a good thing I did, because, I still had things to handle out here, and I still do. But nonetheless, it's like, yo, once you realize that, okay, damn, what is it I'm really trying to tell you? It's like, once you realize that money is just digital overall, like, any way you get paid, whether it's a direct deposit, whether somebody's paying you for your service, everything is coming to an account, and that account is traveling with you. And I know this is like basic, like, this is like, duh, George, common sense, but it's like, no, I need you to really think about that, bro. Like, no matter how I make money in the States, the way that they pay me in the States is digital. So location doesn't matter on how I get actually paid. Location only matters if I'm required to be here to receive that money. You get me? So once you figure out, yo, I can leave, once you got that done with, yo, chat, it's time to get up on out of here. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, right? It's time to dip. The food is crazy. Like, I kid you not. The amount of money we spend for fruits or organic food here is ridiculous. The way the food tastes and how it's affecting our bodies is even more ridiculous. So a lot of times, right, we also don't realize too, like, unless you're moving to like Southeast Asia, bro, a flight from Panama to Miami is 2.5 hours. No cap. A flight from New York to Cali is longer than a flight from New York to Panama. You get what I'm saying? Like, so especially if you pick a location where I could just take a quick flight back home, oh, I'm straight. Because it's like the same thing if one of my friends lives in, shout out to my boy Mel. He on I see you, Jamal, in the chat. He live in Chicago. right? If I need to see Jamel, I have to fly to Chicago anyway. Or fly to another state, and that's not New York, where we could link up, Atlanta, whatever it may be. But it's like, that flight is happening regardless. Now, granted, I'll be honest, flights are more expensive, right? When you're leaving from, a foreign country for sure. But it also depends on the time of the year, right? I've bought flights to and from Panama for about $275, $300 before. Like, it's possible, right? And if anybody know the credit card game and points, then it don't really matter, right? It really doesn't matter. But that's a conversation for another day. But anyways, like, that's the reality, y'all. And it's like, another thing we have to start thinking about is, how is this going to affect our future family, right? You got to think about the Western America and how it's set up. Now, granted, a lot of people would say, yo, you can't leave America and you black. It's like you running away from a problem, right? I've heard that argument before. I'm going to be honest, y'all. Those who look like me or darker in any country get the short end of the stick. 100%. Pause, right? Those who look like me or darker in any country around the world is more than likely in a tough situation, bro. Or the government is giving them less resources. So you have to understand that the black plight, and I would call it the melanated plight, right? You have good high amounts of melanin anywhere in the world, you're facing some type of uphill battle in your government, in your country. 100%. And like I tell everybody all the time, if you disagree, just show me the facts proving me otherwise, right? So to me, and I could get into how colorism is big and how there's a whole, wealth gap in Panama as well, and I want to go there and help that. But to me, once again, I don't feel a necessary obligation to stay here and fight this fight. Although I am always going to fight it because I am American. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to support anything that's going on with the black diaspora here on this land, period. But that doesn't mean I have to stay here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, not to harp on this too much, chat. Like, that's pretty much like what I wanted to kind of help everybody understand on this stream is like, if you take anything from the stream, is take the first step and just start looking for options. I had no plans to go to college until someone told me, yo, you should start looking at colleges. And then gave me options. Yo, look here, right? So it's the same thing. I had, a lot of my friends had no plans of leaving the country until I had to say, yo, I'm leaving. Even now, some of them still don't believe me. They like, yo, you're not leaving for real. Like, nah, I'm out. Like, I'm going to be back and forth because, guys, I'm going to be honest, the only reason I'm back and forth is because of the martial arts that I'm studying. And pretty much like my grandmaster, he's 80, I'm 82 now. And it's just like, it's a wealth of knowledge that I want to grasp because, people are on limited time. And God willing, he has a lot of years coming up. But, that's something that's always in my mind. So I try to learn, and that's the only reason I'm not fully leaving yet. But when I leave to Kenya in August, I'm going to be gone for at least 3 to 4 months, 100%, right? So now, how does that play into fact with family? Because everybody asks me, but what about family? Guys, look, there's a lot of my family members who live in New York, and I don't see them niggas for months. Like, this is what I had to realize, bro. It's like, yo, motherfuckers live 20 minutes away. I ain't see one of my cousins in a month and a half. It's like, what's the difference, bro? I'd rather not see you in a month and a half because I'm saving money and eating good and having my own farmland and making investments for the low in a whole nother country. Instead of like, yo, I ain't see you in a month and a half because New York's expensive. Like, and we don't want to go out. And nah, man, it's like, that don't make no sense. So real talk, chat, like, people complain about, oh, I don't want to leave the country because what about my family? What about this? You don't see your family now. What are you talking about? If you ain't see cousin Ray who lived 20 minutes away, you ain't see him in 2 months. And you worried about, oh, I'm not going to see him when you go to Kenya or when you go to Panama or Colombia, all these. Man, I'll holler at you. I'll see y'all later. I'll be back for Christmas. Word. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I'm looking at it. So it is just like that, chat. Like, yo, don't overthink it, bro. Now, for my fathers on the call and my family people on the call, I get it. It's a little different. It's a little different. Responsibilities, things like that. But there's this, I don't know if y'all know Nas' baby mother. I'll show you right now. Let's see. She actually moved to Kenya, right? There was like a whole thing right here. If y'all never watched this, definitely go check this out. I'm not gonna play it right now. But she moved to Kenya with her sons, right? My cousin better not leave the country. You owe me money. You owe me money. Nah, let me stop. Nah, but seriously, yo, she left the United States. Her son was like 15 years old, and then she had like some younger, I think like 2 younger kids. I think it was like 7 or something. I forgot, but they were younger. But the son was in high school, and basically now he getting tutored by AI. Like at first it was like, yo, this is weird. But the thing about Kenya guys specifically is that everybody speaks English. Like everybody speaks English, like all of them. So it's not one of those things where, oh, I'm going to this country and now I'm completely lost because nobody speaks the language. Like, no, everybody speaks English. So she moved here, and I'm just using her as an example for anybody on the call. I said on the call, but anybody on the stream who's like, yo, but I got family, and I'm not. It doesn't have to be the motherland. Yeah, I'm just saying, right? Trust and believe me, guys. Your kids will be okay. They will actually thank you for it, cause now you got to think about it, right? You grew up here. Think about your upbringing. Right? I'd rather, if I had the opportunities, like, yo, I'd rather my child grow up somewhere else and then come to the States for college. Go to HBCU, go to Morehouse, go to Howard. All right, cool. You want a crazy higher education? All right, you could go to the States for that. But high school, junior high, forget about it. We out. Ain't no junior high kid, and once again, this is me personally. I don't have kids, but this is me personally. Ain't no kid in high school, junior high, or elementary gonna tell me I'm crazy for pulling them. Now, granted, if the kid is senior, you out of pocket. Like, let the kid finish school type shit. Like, but if you a freshman, sophomore, we out. Like, you'll find other friends. Come on. This is ridiculous. So, now, I'm not going to get into the whole conversation about also, because this is another conversation too, right? Is what about culture and life here, right? We know how this next generation, they're cooked. And I know that because my generation was cooked. Like, everybody's cooked. There's rarely any morals. The dating scene is damn near non-existent. It's terrible. It's a pay to play system now. It's fucking crazy. And I ain't paying. So now that's a conversation for another day. I'm gonna have some female guests here on the next stream, right, to have that conversation. But like, yo, it's a different game. Like, people have no code of ethics this day and age, right? So it's tough. But that's a different conversation. I'm just talking right now just quality of life. Let's not get into the culture conversation right now. Let's just talk quality of life. So this is what you could be doing, chat. So definitely living somewhere is a big thing that you can do, and that you should, consider. Now, if anybody, on this stream is thinking about like, how do I get a remote job? Help me get one. Definitely just reach out to me, y'all. Like, I will help y'all set up your resume, your LinkedIn, so you can get a lot of job opportunities. But getting a fully remote job, in all honesty, is it really comes down to networking and daily check-ins. Like, and by daily check-ins, I mean like you have to check LinkedIn or job boards daily because remote jobs go fast. They go extremely fast. Like, a fully remote job goes extremely fast, bro. So keep that in mind. Of course, granted, if you're in a position you're getting promoted at your current job, just to do that for right now. But yeah, chat. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say in regards to the travel conversation and travel conversations. But so now to finish it off, I wanna dive into like, yo, chat. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, right? Next thing I want to talk about with y'all is for sure just overall right now in America, what's going on, right? Now, we're not going to get into politics, but we just going to talk about like the stresses of how much distraction, whether it's politics, whether it's celebrity news. It's like, yo, every day I wake up, it's like, yo, what's going to happen today? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, what is going to happen today? When I was in Panama, if I didn't open Instagram, it was like life was good. Like, I didn't know, It ain't matter. It was like, yo, all of these distractions and psyops that the government is putting on, the CIA is doing, we're filling you up with all these distractions. Like, it's not happening because social media does that to us, right? It keeps us distracted because it's necessary we stay distracted. If we're not distracted, then we actually can start thinking critically about certain things, and that's a problem. So with that being said, it's like right now, a lot of us are trying to figure out how do we navigate these distractions, right? We're living in a time where things are happening fast. AI, politics, global. I think if I'm not mistaken, literally, and y'all might be hearing this for the first time right now, but 58 minutes ago. Feel me, chat? Like, if it ain't one thing, it's another, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This also happened today, too. If it ain't one thing, it's another, chat. All day. If it ain't one thing, it's another, chat. You know what I'm saying? The world continues to spin and things continue to happen. And, you know, definitely prayers up to everybody both in this crash and the prayers up to those in the bombing. But like, that's just the world, y'all. Like, the world is gonna keep moving. It's gonna keep being things happening. So tying back to our earlier in the stream, it's like, yo, what kind of life do you want, right? Do you want to constantly be, flooded by propaganda and, you know what I'm saying, dealing with celebrity gossip? I don't, right? I want to figure out ways to help communities and put systems in place that allow people to truly be free mentally, spiritually, financially, right? That's my long-term goal. So in that, right, I know that I need locations and environments that could facilitate the mindset required for me to go and do these things. And I knew America wasn't it. Especially New York. Yeah, New York. Chat, hold on, chat. Let's go back over here, chat, real quick. Let's go back over here. Let's go apartments in Brooklyn. Let's go over here, chat. Apartments.com. Right? Why not? Cool. And I'm not even gonna go too crazy. Let's just do Prospect Heights. Yeah. Yo, chat, 3-bed, 2 baths, man, 6,000. 3-bed, 2 baths, chat. First of all, this room, 6,000. 3-bed, 2 baths, chat. You barely squeezing the queen size in here, chat. Not gonna lie to you. 6,000 though. Or come on, chat. Come on, chat. What we doing? This is $2,200 for a high rise, and I could find you something way cheaper in Panama, 3,000, right? But let's go back, bro. This is New York, y'all. Like, this is New York City. I'm telling you, this is the worst place in the world, the most expensive place to live. Studio, $2,600. It's too expensive, man. And it's like, all right, now, here's the next part, right? I grew up here, so I don't have that, oh, New York, you know what I'm saying? You know how people be like, oh, New York, I love New York because I got to be in New York. It's just the delis. And bro, I grew up here. I had enough of it. I had enough. I love New York. I'll be here in the summers. That's what I'm going to do. New York in the summer, the rest of the world for the rest of the year. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could do that. But, yo, living here all year round and people and then, it's just bad, bro. So I say that to say, y'all, definitely start thinking about your options, man. You have options. Don't take it for granted. And this is what, I can't wait for later down the line on the streams, y'all, where I could do IRL and I can stream from these countries for y'all. Like, that's my goal. My goal is to do these streams in different countries, do IRLs when I'm at the safari and all these other places out there. And like, really on some travel stuff. And because it's one thing for me to say it, but I'm here right now. You know what I mean? But, that's just what it is. Like, right now I'm getting a foundation set up in place where I don't ever have to come back. I will come back, but I'm just saying that. So I have the choice if I don't want to. Like, yo, I'm gonna stay another 3 months. Like, I don't need to come back. So, but yeah, chat. So that's, you know what I'm saying? That's definitely, you know, an option for y'all. But yeah, nonetheless, man, you know, like I said, this stream was gonna be quick. I'm definitely gonna have some guests pulling up to the next one. But let me know, chat. Like, did you get some information from this? Do you have any questions? I'm definitely looking to answer some questions for those in the chat. Definitely get some feedback. I appreciate Omar, Jamel, Frankie, I appreciate, you know, anybody that definitely was tapped in to the live. I wish I could tell who's on the live. I don't even know how to do that. I definitely don't know how to do that, chat. But word. All right, y'all. So, nonetheless, fam, like, the biggest thing I want everybody to take away is definitely look at your options. Definitely ask some questions. The next stream, I will have gonna have some special guests. I actually gonna have my homegirl. She's actually from the same neighborhood that I was showed y'all from Panama, right? She's from that same neighborhood, but she just moved to the States not too long ago, a couple months ago. And she lives right up the block. Like, she was working at this restaurant. My mom pulled up in there, realized she was from the same neighborhood. So we cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my homegirl. I'm going to tell her to get on the stream and kind of get a perspective of someone who left one of these countries and is now, you know, now over here and kind of just giving y'all what life is like and, you know, what's the pros and cons to that move. But word, if y'all can, man, go ahead and like the channel, like the video, subscribe, man. If y'all haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe to the channel. And we're gonna be going live a lot more. I'm aiming for like a Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday type of vibe. So definitely stay tuned. I appreciate y'all.